All right, we're getting ready to go ahead and get started. Dr. Woolfolk, you have to, yes, ma'am. As you all are coming in, please make sure your microphones are on mute. Um, and as we are getting ready to get started, as you all can see, the agenda that's up front today will be starting shortly to give you an orientation on what we're going to be covering today in reference to our training on connecting service, credit, and collaboration to strengthen pathways for military learners. You, there you go. Awesome.
Wait, I'm having a little bit of problem with my computer as well,
No
so
problem, Dr.
excuse me.
Woolfolk. You are ready to go. Our battle
I am,
buddies.
I
All
am, there
right.
we are. Great
Yes,
battle
ma'am.
buddies. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Karen Woodfalk, Director of the Office of Student Affairs at the South Carolina Commission on Higher Education. And it's my pleasure to welcome you as we begin our virtual orientation to connecting service, training, and collaboration to strengthen pathways for military learners in South Carolina. On behalf of the Commission on Higher Education, thank you for taking this time to join us and for committing to this important work. I'm also pleased to be joined by my colleague here at the Commission, Ms. Alfie Mincy. She's the program coordinator for the South Carolina National Guard CAP and also Veterans Outreach. Ms. Emily DeBrucy, she's the Director of Military and Veteran Engagement at Clemson University, as well as our valued partner in this effort, Ms. Paulette Dunn. She is the Upstate Regional Integration Officer with the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, over the next several weeks, you will engage in this virtual learning experience at your own pace as we explore ways to better recognize military education training and experience for academic credit towards certification and degrees. This work is both meaningful and impactful. By translating valuable skills our service members gain during their military service into viable academic credit, we help military learners move more efficiently towards certificates, degree completion, career advancement, and of course, meaningful employment. After completing the virtual phase, we look forward to bringing everyone together in person on April the 17th at the Department of Public Health in KC. That gathering will give us an opportunity to share what we've learned, exchange ideals, and strengthen our partnerships. So thank you to our partners at the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs for their collaboration, our friends at the American Council on Education, and thank you for being here. Your participation helps expand opportunities for the military learners in our state and whom we proudly serve in our state. Again, welcome, and we look forward to learning and working together. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our valued partner, Ms. Paulette Dunn.
Hi, good morning, everyone. And I really appreciate you giving me just a quick opportunity. Just wanted to say hello to all of you. As Dr. Woolfolk has mentioned, I'm the Upstate Regional Integration Officer for the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs. This work is vital to help our military get what they need and deserve. And you all certainly are a front line in that work as well. Happy to be a collaborating partner in this work. And there are 3 others of me across the state who are here and ready to assist in this work as well. There are 3 other regional integration officers. Jade Berkeley is in the PD. We have Tina Smith in the Low Country, and we also have Jelani Edwards in the Midlands. No, we'll do another short introduction later, but I just wanted to let you know we're all in to make this happen and move forward any way we can. Thank you for being here as well.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Woolfolk. Thank you, Paulette. And so we're going to go ahead and get started to kick off this orientation. Good morning again, everyone. My name is Alfie Mincy. Also, you all will be hearing from my battle buddy, Miss Emily DeBruzzi, and we're going to be covering some information with you all in reference to some logistics and technical information as you get started with the training. As part of this today, we're going to give you a timeline of the training experience, registration steps, and an overview of the online ACE Engage platform. Our goal is that this training will help institutions evaluate military learning consistently and confidently. When we go over the logistics today, I'll be covering some of the technical aspects, and Emily DeBruzzi will explore how to navigate the upcoming training in the ACE online platform and how administrators, faculty, and staff can make informed, evidence-based decisions. So one of the first things I want to take a minute to do is that you all took time to respond to registration questions. And what we received from the feedback, we received some very common themes from that registration. Some of the things of what you hope to learn are JST interpretation and applying recommendations to practice, how to use the ACE military guide and developing resources to support each other's institution. There was feedback on registrars, institutional processes, and workflow. Also, developing policy, and last but not least, data sharing among institutions. We hope through the ACE Engage platform will address some of these learning objectives, but your feedback has also given us insight as on what we need to continue to build on in South Carolina to mobilize military credit for prior learning within our communities and within our region. So let's talk about this experience timeline and what you all are about to experience over the next phases. As of today, this orientation is just going to cover some logistics and technical. This is basically a technical meeting, and it is being recorded to make sure you understand the timeline over the next 4 weeks. So you will have some homework to do before you come on site. So we're going to start first with the timeline. This is our phase 0, our orientation. We'll talk about logistics and logging on to the ACE Engage platform, and then that's today, March 6th. And then moving forward after March 6th through April 3rd, we're going to encounter our phase 1, and that's micro course learning. Feel free to engage with colleagues on the online platform. And then also we're going to have a midpoint check-in to see how everyone is doing on March the 20th. How are your micro courses going? And what are some things that you have questions about as we move forward? Then April 3rd through April 16th, you're going to engage with your Credit for Prior Learning institutional work group. And we'll actually put some information in the chat about if you don't currently have an institutional work group at your institution, we have given you recommendations how to create an institutional work group on military credit for prior learning. Also, through April 3rd and 16th, we're going to be asking you to prepare for our in-person event, and that will go into our phase 2, which will be on site. And as Dr. Wolf mentioned earlier, we will be meeting in person at the South Carolina Department of Public Health headquarters in Casey, South Carolina. We look forward to seeing you all at those sessions. One of the key things we want you all to look at is that on April the 17th, we will be looking at all of you all to attend in person so we can document your participation and completion of phase 1 and phase 2 to receive either a champion certificate of participation. But if you are unable to participate in phase 2, you will still receive a certificate of participation as an advocate. Phase 1 will be 4 weeks. of course learning. The training is a journey, not a destination. So the training will be quite honestly available till we meet in person. So we know this is going to be asynchronous training and learning for you during this journey. And we want to make sure you experience that journey on at your own self pace. So, what are our registration steps? Following the meeting today, as soon as this recording is available, all registrants will receive a follow up email and a link to join the ACE online platform powered by Mighty Networks for any of those techies on the call. And we will go through the ACE Engage platform learning evaluations, awarding credit for military learning. You will have to create an account and profile if you don't already have one. Note, if you already have an ACE Engage account, you should be able to start or reset your password if you don't remember your login. For those that are new to the ACE Engage platform, ACE will, once you set up your profile and log into your account, ACE staff will be on standby to offer or to actually approve your request to enter the training portal. Then, after you're giving access, you will actually go to right here, awarding credit for military learning through the AC Engage platform. At the bottom of the screen, you will see a snippet of how the online platform looks, and you should click on the link that says awarding credit for prior learning. I'm going to pause for one quick second, and I'm actually going to give you a live demo of how the AC Engage platform works. And please bear with me. We're working with technology, but we are going to make sure we go through this process so that all of you all are exposed. So this is a live demo. Let me move this over of the how the AC Engage platform. You're going to see a navigation page over to your left, and mine's may look a little different to you because I've done some other ACE trainings, and I am sharing my screen, right? Okay, awesome. So you're going to see to the left a navigation pane on learning evaluations, and you're going to be clicking on awarding credit for military learning. Once you do that, you're actually going to see a 7-minute video about the American Council on Education and some narrative for support when you're ready to begin. So just looking through this site, this is where you'll be once you set up your profile. You will start and click on the micro courses right here to the top of the screen. And then you will start with getting started, introduction to your course map. Once you do that, you will actually be able to see and navigate through the course paneling to see the courses that will be offered through the AC Engage platform. As you navigate through that process, it is going to be very important that you always hit the next button and also mark each section as complete after you complete each course that you attempt to do. So as you look through here, these are the courses that would be listed. And shortly, we're going to focus on customized training that you all will be able to see. Now, and when you enter into the ACE Engage platform, you are going to go do a learning journey that only you can define. And so with that in case, ACE has its own certification badge that you all may see as you go through their learning platform, but we have customized our training to specific areas, and we will share that information with you shortly of a customized learning course map and the recommended learning journeys based on your role at your institution for military credit for prior learning. So I just want to give you guys a quick view of that, and I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. If technology will continue to bear with me. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So kind of put me back at the beginning, but that's all right. So we showed you a quick little demo of how to navigate through the ACE Engage platform. And so this is how the navigation space would look. And that was the live demo. But you all will see that, of course, the navigation pane is off to your left. And then also you'll be able to start each course. Now, one of the things you do need to know, if you need any technical help, not content help, but if you need any technical help, military guide support at acenet.edu is the link or the email that you would actually email if you have any challenges logging into the AC Engage platform. Also, within this process, as I mentioned earlier, this is asynchronous training, and you can monitor your progress at your own pace. Some lessons may be longer than others, but as I said, it's self-paced learning. You can navigate this space based on your learning style. Some people are visual learners, some people are audio learners. There will actually be some videos in this training of actual ACE evaluators that will be talking about their experience in working with the ACE military guide. In the next slide, we're going to share with you a customized roadmap to help you during this training. And I'm gonna ask Villadine if she can put that in the chat if you guys want to walk through this map with me. So as I mentioned early in our timeline journey, we're going to have a phase one of the training of the ACE Engaged Learning Evaluation, the micro courses. And based upon feedback, we have a customized training, specific micro courses for our attendees here. There are several courses in the ACE Engage platform giving credit where it's due, and you are welcome to explore any of the micro courses that interest you, not just the ones that are listed here. As I mentioned before, you start the micro courses, or everyone should start with the ACE Engage 101, which is an overview of how to use the space. After you learn how to use the space, using the course training map as a roadmap, look at your main role in military credit for prior learning. Based upon your role, you will follow this course map. If you don't know where to start if you don't know where to start, you can start as an institutional administrator if you don't see your particular role there. Also, check off each course you complete to monitor your progress. Before I hand over the next part of the orientation to my battle buddy, I would like to take a quick pause if there are any questions in the chat about the technical aspect of the AC Engage platform. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, and if you do have questions as we go through, we'll be monitoring the chat. Now, I'm going to kick this over to Emily, my battle buddy, who is going to provide a quick overview of each micro course listed here. Emily, you have the floor.
Thanks, Alfie. And good morning, everyone. We're going to dive right into the details. We're going to get right started. As you know, credit for prior learning is fundamentally about recognizing learning wherever it occurs. So for our military affiliated students, CPL can shorten the time to a degree, reduce costs, and validate expertise that our students bring with them. It's also an equity strategy, ensuring students don't repeat learning that they've already mastered in the military. And from an institutional perspective, CPL strengthens recruitment and completion outcomes. When we evaluate military learning consistently, we create smoother pathways for students and a more efficient process for faculty and staff. So, kind of diving into the nuts and bolts, military learning is really often misunderstood. In reality, though, it's highly structured, outcomes based, and rigorously assessed. Every course and occupation has defined competencies and performance standards. And importantly, that learning is documented, which is what allows us to evaluate it using academic frameworks in place. This is where the joint services transcript becomes really essential. So we're going to take a brief tour, and I think Elfie might be possibly navigating through some tabs while we do this, or did we decide, Elfie, we might keep this training course map up? Either way really works, but I know as Villardine has it in the chat, y'all can look at whatever is preferred for you while I just briefly touch on some of the courses. Course 1 lays the foundation. It really introduces CPL, the types of learning institutions can evaluate, and the role of the Joint Services Transcript as the official record of military training and experience. This course definitely helps faculty and staff build shared language. When everyone understands what credit for prior learning is, and how military learning is documented on the JST, the evaluation process becomes much more consistent, and that's our goal. As you may know, the JST includes military courses, occupations, and the ACE credit recommendations associated with each. It is the starting point for evaluating a student's military learning, and accuracy matters. A single misread code or an outdated exhibit can lead to inconsistent credit reports. And so we think that's why familiarity with the ACE military guide is so important. And that's sort of a great segue right into course 3. Course 3 is ACE Military Guide, or AMG, Navigation 101. Although Course 3 is optional, it's highly recommended for all roles, as I think Elfie mentioned earlier. This course focuses on navigating the ACE Military Guide, which is the source for ACE credit recommendations. You can search by Military Occupation Specialty, or MOS, course number, keyword. You can upload a JST. The key fields to pay attention to are the learning outcomes, exhibit dates, credit categories, and levels. These guides in the ACE Military Guide help faculty in determining alignment with institutional courses. I think we'll pop over to course 4 next, which is evaluating prior military learning and drafting credit awards. It really walks through the evaluation workflow. It starts with the JST, moves into the ACE military guide, and then into faculty review. ACE provides recommendations, but institutions and really content owners make the final decision. And that decision should be grounded in course outcomes, program requirements, and academic integrity. The ACE recommendation is a starting point, definitely not an automatic award. Course 6 is the faculty perspective, and it centers on the faculty role. ACE recommendations are created through faculty review panels, meaning academic peers evaluate military learning. And faculty actions in the ACE military guide, approvals, denials, conditional approvals, they directly influence institutional consistency. Faculty engagement is very, very essential. The course breaks down how ACE faculty evaluators review military exhibits. They examine materials, assessments, and competencies, just like they would for any academic program. It also can help dispel misconceptions. Military learning isn't just physical training, it includes leadership, technical skills, communications, analysis, and so much more. Then, sort of putting it all together, after learning how to use this space in Engage 101, these self-paced micro courses really build on each other. Understanding CPL, navigating the ACE Military Guide, or AMG, evaluating learning, and engaging faculty. Together, they create a consistent, student-centered CPL process, and that consistency really depends on collaboration between administrators, faculty, advisors, registrars, and statewide partners. All of you play an important role. We hope that over the next 4 weeks, as you take these self-paced courses, you can apply this learning experience toward reviewing policies and procedures at your respective institutions by connecting service, credit, and collaboration to strengthen pathways for military learners in South Carolina. That's it for the official presentation portion. I think we're ready to open the floor for any additional questions you may have. Oops, Elfie, you're muted because.
Thank you. We're going to open the floor. And I just want to kind of emphasize and show this screen again. Thank you again, Villadine, for putting that information in the chat. So it's basically a visual journey of timeline of what you're going to be doing. If you're an administrator, of course, everyone is going to do Engage 101. And then, of course, everyone is going to do Course 1. And that's Emily just went through. Course 3 is optional, but then based on your role, you want to look at course 4 and course 6. This is phase 1. Phase 2 of our course training journey will be in person on April the 17th. So I do want to give you guys a visual picture of this. And this is self-paced. The learning comes with the time that you take into learning about the information that is here. We highly look at their lessons, and based on the American Council on Education with ACE, your learning can start today after you receive the link to access your account, and then also to be able to go through over the next 4 weeks, actually up to April 17th. But we really want you to make sure you try to meet with your institutional work group. But this at least gives you a visual picture and if of what you're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. Okay. So one of the things that we want to do, and I do want to take the opportunity to ask everyone that's on the call today, is that as you are aware, we are doing a phase 1 and phase 2. We have received some calls that some individuals, due to scheduling conflicts, may not be able to do phase 2, which is our in-person convening. And Villadine is actually going to put a link in the chat, but you can also use your cell phones to take a picture of this QR code. But we need to get a more confirmed number that will be attending in person on April the 17th. Now, I will emphasize, to get the full experience of this training opportunity, because I know we have a lot of different roles and positions that are coming through this training. It's going to be essential. We want you to come to the in-person, because we are going to be doing some networking, meeting with in regions, with regional breakouts. Also, we're looking at having a student panel as well. And so we want every opportunity for you all to learn about military credit for prior learning. There was a question on the registration: how familiar are you with military credit for prior learning? You'll be surprised to know that a large majority of individuals said they were somewhat familiar. And then there was some that said, I'm not familiar at all. So what is that? This is a great learning opportunity, whether you're an admissions officer, whether you're in the dean of students, or whether you're in veteran services. This is a wonderful opportunity to really understand what goes on in reference to evaluating credit for prior learning, especially for the military. So we do want to make sure we take an opportunity for those that can come to our in-person convening. That will be on April the 17th. And our next slide, we are going to share with you basically our tentative training at a glance. So today, virtual orientation, you guys have kicked it off today, 11:30, and we're going to be finished in about 5 to 10 minutes. So we are staying within our allotted time. So March, starting after you get your initial email, you all, every registrant that's on the call today will receive an initial email with the link to the AC Engage platform for you to set up your profile or to start on the micro course learning. And that will be phase 2. Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
so sorry to interrupt you. I think somehow we went off screen share, and I think you wanted to be showing that as you were
Oh,
talking on
yes,
those
ma'am.
slides.
I saw. Thank you so much, Emily.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's my battle buddy, y'all. So basically, let me start a little bit backwards. This is the at a glance, a tentative training at a glance. Am I showing it now, Emily? Okay,
Yes,
thank
you
you.
are.
Awesome. So the training at a glance, you have phase zero, which you all just kicked off today. Now I think Bill Dean put this in the chat too. So even while I was talking, you guys should have been able to see this as well. So this basically is the phase zero, our virtual orientation. And then we're going to go into phase one, which is taking our micro courses that are listed there. Then after that, we want you to meet with your institutional work group to take out some learning outcomes of what you all learn and actually establishing institutional work group if you don't already have one. Also on the slide, if you want to get more information or details on what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks, we do have a website on our CHE website listing all this information. All the slides and presentations will be located centralized in that particular area. And this gives you a visual view of what our in-person training will look like. Registration will start at 9 o'clock a.m. And then we'll be going throughout the day with a series of sessions, a plenary, and then regional breakouts. We do also have a student panel discussion that we'll be having of students that have experienced military credit for prior learning evaluation at their prospective institutions. And you guys do not want to miss that. That is like the high point of our training, just to hear firsthand how students are experiencing their credits being evaluated at some of our prospective colleges and universities. Then we're going to be having a regional group session and debriefing, and we'll be breaking up into regions within the four regions: the upstate, low country, PD, and the Midlands. And we're trying to connect you all, and there'll be some discussion points that our co-facilitators and our RIOs, our regional integration officers from the SCDVA, will be in those breakouts leading discussion for us to discuss how we are going to be able to take our learning from the micro courses and then be able to do boots on the ground in serving our students. So I just want to introduce to you, even though Ms. Paulette Dunn introduced the Rios, just want to introduce some of these folks to you, which you will be seeing when you come to the in-person convening on April the 17th. We have been working very diligently together to offer to you all a great learning and training opportunity. I also want to introduce you all to our South Carolina Military Credit for Prior Learning co-facilitators, advisory board members, and these individuals you will also see on April the 17th that will be moderating or be facilitating different sessions. So you'll actually see these individuals on April the 17th as well. So if you have any questions or you have anything that you would like to get additional information, you can contact these individuals here. Of course, you met Dr. Karen Woodfalk, myself, and then also special kudos to the SkyQ, the South Carolina Independent Colleges and University, Miss Emma Ribel. She is a great advocate, and so SkyQ is a great advocate of the South Carolina Military Credit for Prior Learning Advisory Board, and also Miss Jennifer Black, who is the Director of Academic Partnerships with the South Carolina Technical College Systems Office. So we do want to ensure that you all know who to contact if you have any additional questions. I do want to open the floor because I know we went through a lot of information, and I do want to emphasize to you all that you will, and just to kind of go back to this slide here of our timeline that we have, is that your micro courses will be starting as soon as you receive your account email to take the micro courses that are going to be listed. I do want to open the floor at this time for anyone that may have any questions. And so before we close out, are there any questions in the chat?
Elfie, I don't see any questions in the chat, but could we go back to the slide with the QR code that didn't display yet? And I want to make
Okay.
sure everyone can note if they
Yes,
can
ma'am.
attend.
Okay.
And Alfie, there is a question from Kimberly Wilbur. She's not quite sure where the landing page is for the micro courses, and she wanted to see if we could show that again, if we have an opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Will do. So this
Dr.
is, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Emily already placed it in the chat. She placed the link in the chat.
Very
Right.
good.
And so I will be sending a follow-up email with the link for you to set up your account. And again, I want to emphasize that we need everyone to do this QR code, or this Ms. Villadine put the link in the chat for those that will be attending the in-person convening, just for us to help with the meal planning and also the issuance of the advocate or champion certificates of participation. When you all receive the email after today, it will have the recording for today's session, as well as some other follow-up and next steps that you would need to know. So that information, as soon as the recording or the Zoom recording is available, the link will be sent out along with the link to the landing page for you to set up your ACE Engage account. Any other? Yes, ma'am.
There's a question in the chat. Question is, do we need to complete the training sessions before we attend the in-person session?
Well, yes, I think that's going to be very instrumental, because the terminology and language and the things that we're going to be covering in person, that foundation is going to be set in your micro courses. So we highly encourage you all to do the micro courses, because that's basically the meat and potatoes of really understanding about military credit for prior learning. And we're going to take those learning outcomes that you get out of that training, out of the taking the micro courses, and we're going to discuss some topics and bring up how can we continue to move in the initiative of military credit for prior learning for our service members. Any other questions? If not, we'll be hanging out for a couple of minutes.
We have one more question.
Sure, no problem.
What if your university already participate with credit for prior learning?
Repeat that question again.
What if your university already participates with credit for prior learning?
So, I mean, we knew this question may come out already. And so the point, we've had a similar training before with the American Council on Education, but this can be a refresher. There are a lot of key points, and Emily, you can chime in too. A lot of key points through the ACE military guide of just elevating your institution to the next level. We recognize that and why this initiative is important is that we know that institutions award credit for prior learning for the military students, but we also know that we want them to be recognized for more academic credit versus elective. So we believe, especially the faculty that are on this call today, the faculty session in the ACE military, in the ACE Engage platform really can give you a basic understanding why it's important to award credit for prior learning, but also how those credit recommendations on the joint service transcript, which is similar to a domestic transcript, but it's for the military, but it really gives you a greater understanding of what the experience and training that our service members go through. So yes, even though you may be already awarding credit for prior learning, this training is going to either sharpen your staff skills sets, see how you all can do things better and be better to serve the service member. Emily, do you want to chime in there?
Yes, absolutely. Elfie, you pretty much covered everything I was going to say, but our Clemson team came down last year. We brought a big team and we're We're going to bring another big team, some of the same people, some new people. I think just the networking aspect and Villardine running a student panel down there was so incredibly impactful for us to see, even though we thought we were doing pretty well when we came last year, and we were, but kind of being able to hone in on some key areas. We've established a formal policy now. We've published exactly what we do in our academic catalog, and this year we'll be focused on looking at AMG to see if we want to move to the online platform for credit approvals, which hopefully will make everyone's life a lot easier. So I think there's still a lot to be said about a big in-person day in training with colleagues across the state, and I would highly recommend attending regardless of where you're at in your institutional process.
Thank you for that endorsement there.
We
Appreciate it.
have a few more questions in the chat.
Sure.
One of the questions is, I'm totally new to this, so which training should I start with first?
Great question. So, Emily and I were just discussing that this morning, and I'm gonna go back to the course training map. Really, I would say starting with the institution administrator because it gives you the nuts and bolts. Even if you're not an institutional administrator, it kind of will explain the workflow of really where you what position your institution holds. Emily, do you want to piggyback on that part or starting probably that may be the best place to start?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there were a few questions like this, and Villardine's probably going to talk about others, but I saw someone say, I'm a school certifying official. I would think you would probably want to know the entire process as someone who works directly with service members and veterans on a daily basis. So the institution administrator, again, is going to give you all of the content. And that way, too, you could become an advocate for others to go through training pathways. So that again is a great recommendation, but whatever you can do is certainly something. The roles really will come into play later when you start to use the ACE Military Guide as an online platform. Right now, the more courses you can do, the better. Now, to be transparent, there are additional lessons within each course. So just kind of poke through and like Alfie said, click that next button, click the complete buttons for when you do complete a course so it saves your progress. And you can go in a year and a half later, like I have done now, and fix up or finish up any other additional content if it would be helpful. So
Awesome.
hopefully that helped answer.
Thank you. Any other questions in the chat?
One more question.
Sure.
Can we differ between the two? In our system, we currently have credit for prior learning for all students, but could we create a system for the VA students and code them as military credit for prior learning when we enter their credits?
Emily, you want to take a stab at that? Maybe
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one's from Pamela, and you can feel free to kind of unmute if I'm way off mark. But if you're talking about the actual system you're using, I think it's certainly doable. AMG, the ACE Military Guide, has a built-in workflow system that all of us have access to. You just need to create an institutional account, and that would be where I would recommend that you would put your military CPL, sort of that system, if you will. And then if it's something like, these type of questions are exactly the conversations we want to have in person on April 17th after everyone on the call has gone through training, and would love to hear what you're already doing, Pamela, even, as someone from the Clemson team, and then we can help you through it. That's just great conversation. In the meantime, feel free to reach out to me directly. I know Villardine does a lot of great work down at USC. So if anyone on this call can help, we're happy to do so.
gotcha. Any other questions? Because I know we're coming to our 45-minute mark. I do want to emphasize again, and Villadine, if you don't mind putting this back in the chat again with the phase 2. And we want everyone to come. We are so excited. I just want to say that this has been the most highly registered event. We actually had over I'm actually going to say the actual number, at least 139 people registered. So we know that there is a need for this type of training. Military credit for prior learning is a hot topic all across the country. And we are really trying to put South Carolina on the map to um, escalate how we are reviewing military credit for prior learning to better serve our students. I know Dr. Woolfolk didn't talk about it, but she normally does it when we're talking to individuals. We have 8 installations in the state of South Carolina. And so we have a large group of service members that we can be serving. And I know the South Carolina Department of Veteran Affairs, one of their initiatives is to keep our service members here in South Carolina. What better way can we do that is continue to educate them and assisting them as they pursue their educational and career goals. So we wanted to continue to do that here by educating our faculty, our administrators, our admissions officers, and our registrars how military credit for prior learning. When you know better, we do better. Any other questions? All right. And as we close out, we want to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you for being so committed to this important work, statewide initiative as we continue to work together. We look forward to witnessing the positive impact that you all will make on your campus and in the lives of South Carolina service members and veterans. We are connecting service, credit, and collaboration to strengthen pathways for military learners. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We'll stay on the call if someone has some additional questions, but if not, we see you in person on April the 17th, and be on the lookout. Even though I know today is Friday, we'll be, as soon as this recording is available, we'll be sending you up some follow-up steps with the PowerPoint along with the recording, along with some additional steps. Thank you all again so much for your time, and have a wonderful weekend.